The diner fell silent as the manager's voice cut through the air, sharp and cruel. "You're nobody. Leela," he sneered, jabbing a finger at the black waitress cradling to shivering orphans. The crowd watched, frozen, as her eyes burned. With quiet fire, 18 years later, a helicopter's roar would shake her world, and theirs. The diner smelled of burnt coffee and greasy bacon, its air thick with the hum of late-night chatter. Leela Jackson stood behind the counter, her hands steady despite the manager's venomous words slicing through the haze. "You're nobody," he spat, his finger inches from her face to small children, orphaned and shivering, clung to her apron, their eyes wide with hunger and fear. The crowd truckers, locals, drifters froze, forks hovering, breaths held. No one spoke. No one dared. Leela's heart pounded, but her face remained a mask of calm, her silence louder than his cruelty. Leela was no stranger to hardship. At 42, her hands bore the calluses of a life spent serving others. First as a nurse in a war-torn field hospital, then as a waitress in this run-down diner on the edge of town. She'd seen soldiers bleed out under her care, their last breaths whispering regrets she carried like scars. Her own losses were quieter: a brother lost to war, a mother to illness, a home to debt. Yet, every night, she poured coffee with her smile, her dark eyes holding a warmth that softened even the hardest hearts. Those orphans, a boy and girl no older than 6, had wandered in from the cold, their parents gone in a crash that left them with nothing but each other. Leela fed them, her own dinner, ignoring the manager's glares. "They're not your problem," he'd hissed. But to Leela, they were everything. The weeks that followed stretched her thin. She took the children in, her small apartment now alive with their soft footsteps and hesitant laughter. The town whispered, some with pity, others with scorn. "She's got no business raising kids," they said. "She's barely got enough for herself." The manager docked her pay for wasting food, and customers tipped less, their eyes avoiding hers. Yet Leela never faltered. She braided the girl's hair each morning, taught the boy to read by candlelight when the power flickered out. Her silence was her shield, her dignity unshaken by their judgment. Years passed, and the children grew. The boy, Marcus, became a pilot, his hands steady on the controls as Leela's had been in the diner. The girl, Amara, studied law, her voice fierce in courtrooms, fighting for those who had no one. Leela never spoke of her sacrifices, but they knew. They saw the lines etched deeper into her face. The meals she skipped to feed them, the dreams she buried to lift theirs. The town forgot her kindness, but Marcus and Amara never did. They carried her quiet strength, her unshakable heart. One spring morning, 18 years after that night in the diner, a low rumble shook Leela's modest home. She stepped outside, her apron dusted with flour, and froze. A helicopter descended, its blades slicing the air, kicking up dust that stung her eyes. Marcus stepped out, his pilot's uniform crisp, his smile wide. Behind him, Amara emerged, her briefcase in hand, her eyes shining with pride. The town gathered, drawn by the noise. Their whispers now tinged with awe. The manager, older and Greer stood among them, his face pale. Leela Jackson, Marcus said, his voice carrying over the crowd. You gave us a home when the world turned away. Now we're here to honor you. Amara stepped forward, handing Leela a deed in Newhouse, paid in full. A place where she'd never want for anything again. The crowd stood silent, some with tears, others with shame. Leela's eyes glistened, but her voice stayed steady. Love doesn't shout, she said softly. It just does. As the helicopter lifted off, the town remained still, their silence a tribute to the woman who'd never needed to raise her voice. Leela stood tall, her heart full, knowing her quiet strength had changed the world for two souls and now, for everyone watching. What does silent strength mean to you? Share your thoughts below and tell us where you're watching from. Subscribe for more stories of unsung heroes who prove that honor speaks louder than words. **.